welcome one and all to another week of GPR Cast. It's good to be back. I'm Jacob, Hallowed Foxman, however you want to call me. You'll be your host again tonight. Just to let everybody know, Luke cannot be with us tonight because of family reasons, but Ricky is still here. Ricky, how are you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there.
You're hanging in there?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Good to hear. What are you playing?
Oh, well,
What you doing? How's life?
life is complicated,
I
but
understand.
I'm
I
waiting until
intimately
that.
understand your life issue, but that's
Yeah,
not for here.
yeah. I won't get into all that until until maybe another time. But yeah, this week is Thursday, so this past Tuesday was the last story mission for season of the Wish and Destiny 2.
Great.
So I played that yesterday, Wednesday. And then expected good ending, no cliffhanger
Of course.
uh for the final shape.
Why would they not have a cliffhanger?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely, but it's not like, unfortunately it's not like the cliffhanger that leaves me like really wanting some more. It's like last week you knew what the cliffhanger was going to be and then it just happened.
Sure.
And I was kind of expecting there to be some sort of a twist, but there wasn't. So now it's just a matter of waiting until June 4th for the final shape to be released. And there are supposed to be like a couple, I think like two things um coming out in a for the remainder of that time
Oh, good.
as filler things because of the delay. But mostly I've been playing ESO, really been getting back to that. Um, so that's mostly what I've been playing. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I got to jump back into some Monster Hunter World last night. I've been
Okay,
wanting
nice.
wanting to play a bit more of that of late, and so actually a couple days ago I started a new game just to like, get the controls remembered into my fingers and into my brain, and then I hop back into my later file, which I have not beaten Iceborne yet. So actually, kind of in the beginning of that expansion pack. So it's a fun game.
Yeah. I tried my hand at Monster Hunter Xbox. It's different. I played it for a while.
It's just it's a gear climb at the end, and it's fun. And you just get to go up against all these different it's kind of a Dark Souls like, but before Dark Souls, I think.
Yeah, the gameplay is similar. Where kind of like I was talking about last week about Dark Souls and Elder Ring, that it's not a button mashing fighting
Hmm.
like fighting gameplay, which is um what I struggled with for quite a while when I was playing
Oh,
it.
sure, for sure.
You gotta time everything, and I'm impatient, so I can't do
That's
it.
okay. We have a lot of things to go through. This week has been a busy week. Next week is going to be a busy week. Um, before we get into the news, I wanted to hop into uh, something that I've been enjoying for many years at this point now. Um, every January and either it's June, July, or August. I can't remember which. There is something called Games Done Quick. In the January, it's AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick, and in the summer, it is Summer Games Done Quick. These are different platforms that the speedrunning communities come together and fundraise for two different charities. The January one has been the Prevent Cancer Foundation for um, all but like the first year that it was. And then the summer one is Doctors Without Borders. And each year for both of them, they fundraise well over $1 million, sometimes even $2 million. So um, that is the good causes that they do.
Yeah.
But on the other end, it is some really fun entertainment because it is just a week of seeing game after game after game of people who are near the top of the best people at being able to play these games, whether they're glitchless or all sorts of glitches, get through these things in record times. And I've got just like a quick rundown of some of the different um, things that like I'm going to go make sure to probably watch, but just to get a taste of some of the different things that are there. Um, so this event is going to start on Sunday at 10:30 Central with the pre-show, and then it's going to hop right in at 11 with Tunic. That's that Fox game that it's a Zelda like that is there is no text in the entire game until you unlock it, so that you don't really know where you're going, and it's a lot of fun. But the first thing that I was thinking I'm probably going to be able to catch is Donkey Kong 64 at 3:50ish p.m. The times that they have on the list, if you go to their website gamesdonequick.com, they'll have the schedule, and the times are fairly accurate. They try to keep to the schedule as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Sometimes people run over. Sometimes people finish a lot earlier than they were expecting. There's a give and take. But this DK64 is going to be a no levels early run. I don't know what that actually means, but it probably means that they're going to be glitching into a whole bunch of different things. But it's going to take only 2 hours, a little over 2 hours to beat the game, which is impressive because that is a collectathon that is extremely long. Got some
Now,
yeah.
Where do you go to watch this?
This will be watched on Twitch at the Games Done Quick Twitch channel. They often have many different events going on throughout the year supporting different causes here and there. But it will run continuously for the whole week on their Twitch channel. Or you can go to their main website and they will have an embedded video of their Twitch. And it is also broadcast in multiple different languages as well.
Nice.
So those have their own unique Games Done Quick channels on Twitch. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. So that
I've never heard of it before. This looks amazing.
It's just a fun time. They even kept them going through pandemic stuff where they did them online. It like a lot of the things, they wasn't as well liked or done attended, I should say, in the online space, but they did a really good job, all things considered, trying to link up all of those streams, because in a day they go through anywhere from 20 to 40 games, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Rounding out the things that I found interesting, at least on the first day on Sunday, there's an F-Zero, the old Super Nintendo one that they're going to be running through. On Monday, yeah, if you go through the schedule, you can see they run through the night, and there are some things that would be amazing to watch, but I am not staying up until 2 a.m. to watch something, or getting up at 5 a.m. to watch a game. There's always VODs afterwards that you can go watch.
Yeah.
They have all sorts of giveaways too during little blocks. Like there will be a Disney block or a Mega Man block. Often just they'll block together a bunch of games that are very similar. So if you can get a series of them that's like, oh yeah, hey, this is the type of game that I like to watch. You'll see, okay, here's a whole bunch of them. Like the starting on Monday, I think starting at 11:25 Central. I'm doing all these in Central because that's the time it's giving me. Um, they're doing Mega Man 3 any percent. So that means just getting through the game as quick as possible. No, not getting the full upgrades or whatever. That and then that's going to be followed right up by Mega Man 8, then Metroid Prime 2, which they're going to 100% Metroid Prime 2 in just under 2.5 hours. Then they do RPGs as well. Final Fantasy 15, um, Sonic Adventure 2. There's going to be a bid war for that one. Um, it's going to be either the hero story or the dark story, and so people will put their donations towards one or the other.
Yeah.
Only Up. That's that one game where the guy is stuck in a pot and has a pickaxe and he's trying to scale all this huge mountain with a lot of different terrain, which shouldn't be on a mountain. But it's one of those ones that you easily fall all the way to the bottom, and you have to start over again and keep going up and up and up and see if you can do it. It's impressive.
Pokemon Pearl. Wow.
If that's going to be a bonus game to be able to play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, if the donation amount is reached, that's how they run that. It usually does. Like they will do a push at the very end if it doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Or you can usually get the at both the Yeti.com and Fangamer.com. There's all sorts of merch and T-shirts and just really fun things that you can get to that is from that event. Like the shirt that I'm wearing actually right now is there's usually a Super Metroid bid war at some point where it's just like, do you save or kill the animals? So you got the birds and the little jumping guys to help you teach wall climb or wall jumping. So for so many years that specific bid war has done so many different things, which is really, really fun. And you could keep going. Pikmin 4 is right after it. StarCraft, the original StarCraft, if you wanted to sit up after midnight to watch that, going into Tuesday. There's a lot on Monday. On Tuesday, I wanted to note one thing. It's really late. Yes, some of these days, like on Tuesday, I'm probably not going to watch that much, or I'll have it on in the background.
Yeah.
Because it's very, even if it's a game that I don't know about, it's really interesting to see how people play games.
Yeah.
I wanted to note the Hades game at 8:55. It's a race, so they will also do races, which is really impressive. That like you'll have multiple people playing the game as quickly as possible. Let's see, Wednesday. If I could stay awake or wake up at 2:46 a.m., I would watch Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I love watching those speedruns, but I don't have anybody currently that I usually watch. And that's another thing. This gives you a lot of different people that you can follow on Twitch. That like, hey, this person is really cool. I like their attitude or how they present themselves.
Goof Troop.
It gives you a lot of different options. What was that?
Goof Troop. I love that game.
Yes, that's
SNES, the SNES.
I think that's the Saturday morning block. It's DuckTales, Gargoyles, Ninja Turtles, Goof Troop, Bluey, Mario Brothers 2, Monkey Island. Like it's all just like, hey, these would be like Saturday morning cartoons if
And
and some of them
oh,
were. Metroid Dread. Those are the Metroid games are always fun to watch. Um,
on Crystal.
so yeah, the Pokemon Crystal that's talking about that at 1:40 on third Wednesday. Um, randomizers. If you don't know what a randomizer is they've taken the code of the game and the objects or creatures in that game that are um, placed throughout the world. So, like in Zelda, all of the items will be in different spots, in different chests throughout the world. In Pokemon, the Pokemon will be in different spawn locations. So you have no
Interesting.
idea sometimes. This one is an item randomizer. So you have no idea what items you're going to get, how well that's going to work out.
Yeah. Wow.
Then they got some classics like Ocarina of Time.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I definitely, if you ever see Taskbot in the schedule, watch those, or go back and watch the VODs. Go on YouTube, look at Taskbot. They program basically at this point AI, though it was at beginning, it was before AI was a thing. They have a computer run the game as fastly as possible, and because they do it frame by frame, they're able to do tricks that are not humanly possible with because they have the program run it to see how they can do it. And this has actually taught speedrunners better tactics in how to get through games because a computer can do this. It did it. And so we're going to see if the human can replicate it.
Yeah.
So they're the Taskbot is playing Super Metroid this year. Oh.
Oh, that's
And if
crazy.
yeah, they'll do a daily recap every day. They'll show the highlights of the day. So usually there have been world records broken, personal records broken, pretty much every single GDQ. All sorts of fun.
Mm.
Thursday, got some Shovel Knight, um, going on some Kirby, Castlevania, Celeste is a really fun one for speed running. Mario Sunshine, um, Mario Maker 2. They're doing a glitch showcase. So how much can they break the game? That's what it is. And the Halo one that's right after that. Halo has been broken so much. Most of these are completely out of bounds. Um,
Yes.
yeah, because you beating all of the Halo campaign in an hour and 15. Yes, it's on easy, but they're breaking the game.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm.
Um,
Definitely gonna watch that.
Undertale, if you've ever seen or played that game, there's the normal route. There's the which is basically you kill everything because it's a RPG after a fashion. So of course you're gonna just go through and that's how you get EXP. There's a pacifist run where you do no attacking throughout the entire game.
Mm.
Um, and they're going to be doing this as fast as they possibly can, which is extra difficult because you have to dodge everything and they throw so much more at you and you are at the your weakest.
Yeah.
Um, Dark Souls are always entertaining because FromSoft games are again very badly coded, so they're broken easily.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, those are always fun. Sometimes there is an announcer in the back who is reading off donations. Every
Mm.
once in a while the couch is not talking because there will be people there explaining the games, explaining what they're doing. But some of these the commentators in the announcer seat are extreme characters of themselves. The one that has both the Dark Souls and the Borderlands 2. His name is Covert Muffin. He is. Oh, he's a ham. He's a ham. Mario Wonder just came out 3-4 months ago. They are already doing a speedrun of that game in an hour 45. And then Majora's Mask. A lot of the Zelda games are broken, but
Yeah.
Doing a relay on that one. So where they will have multiple different people play sections of a game. So they'll hand off the controller. And then Saturday, pretty much everything on Saturday is gonna be for somebody.
Yeah.
There's Tetris, there's Ghostwire, there's Sonic, Fire Emblem, Mario Kart, Elden Ring, or Sekiro, Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3 is making it in. All acts in 35 minutes. If they make that bonus game. And then their last game is Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. And then they're closing it off before the end of next Saturday. So that's just a taste of what is going to be this next week. Like I said, hundreds of games. Go check it out. It is worth your time. And if you feel like donating, all the games will be in specific blocks. So there will be giveaways through all of those. So your donation total could be will be given towards that, and you could win something. And then there's a grand prize for everything if you donate like at least $250, or if you just want to get t-shirts. I've gotten way too many t-shirts from all of these things. My wife has told me that I can't get any more, but I'm going to, because I saw some of them that are coming out for this next one, and they are so fun. Anyway, so I hope I piqued your interest at least, Ricky, with this.
I'll definitely be in. I got nothing going on this week or next week.
You can have it running in the background at work. That's what I would do. Is just I have it just on, and if something sounds interesting, you just hop on and look at it for a bit, and like, oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
But we need to keep speedrunning all of the different things of this news week, because there is so much that I actually cut multiple things from it, and we're still got a list of 15 different news items. Some of them we'll talk about, some of them will not. So getting going, there was an announcement from Xbox support. They're going to be cracking down on users who are kind of recording content that is in Baldur's Gate 3 that is rated M for mature for a reason. And when they cut it, or when they clipped it, they did not turn off their automatically upload, because in the clouds of Xbox, the clips that are clipped are public for everybody. And so if you're having a Baldur's Gate 3 with a sex scene clipped and upload it, there's going to be a lot of children who are going to be seeing these things, and Xbox is like, I'm sorry, we can't do that, because these games are adult for adult reasons. So
yeah, good for them.
That is a nice thing that they are being able to do. And Xbox is continuing some different things in the news next Friday. So we'll be able to talk about this next week, because I think Luke was really excited for a couple of these games. But there's going to be a developer direct next Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific. So 2 Central, 3 Eastern. Featuring an Indiana Jones game, Avowed, Ara, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, basically. So those are some of the different things that will be popping up on that one. Some speculation time. Masahiro Sakurai, the famous creator of Smash Brothers, had retired and started a YouTube channel talking about creating games. Well, he's quitting YouTube sometime this year. And his series is named Masahiro Sakurai on creating games. And he's saying that he's going to go do something else, which likely means he's going back to video games, because he's retired after every single Smash game, saying, I'm never going to do another one.
Yeah.
And he keeps doing it.
Uh-huh.
So, is he working on another Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
What
That one is pretty much perfect. Especially with, I mean, now that Nintendo is doing DLCs, can't see
the
what else.
character for Ultimate, the DLC characters lasted 2 years after release, maybe 3 years. That's a long time of developing a single game. He got burnt out.
Yeah.
But if there's a new game console coming, why not have a new Smash Brothers? And if so, where would they go from there? Because Smash Brothers Ultimate has how many characters? A lot.
Let's see.
Gosh, I can't remember.
89 playable characters.
Gosh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And they are all mostly unique. There are some clones. And he is the one who kind of worked with all of them. They all had to. They went through him, basically, which was impressive.
I don't see what else they'd be able to do, like anything new, or and plus it's called Smash Bros.
Ultimate. It's Ultimate.
What
So
or Ultimate than Ultimate?
I think
Infinite.
what you would have to do, and this is from what I've heard from some other people, and I think I agree, is a go back to basics. You have 8 to 16 characters. That's it. Like the original or Melee. And then just like refine having just a few and make the battle experience more epic. Because people still like to say that Melee is the best of the best for Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that was, if Ultimate weren't around, that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
So
Definitely.
So who knows? It'll be exciting to see what comes from Sakurai in the years to come.
Yeah.
Another event that was going on this week, speaking of things that are in development, the Consumer Electronics Show, also known as CES, has been going on for the last few days. This is a show that just tech companies can come and show off a lot of their just like, this is where we're headed. This is what we're working on. These are maybe working models. These are concept models. It's really, really fun and cool. And I know that there were definitely a bunch of ones that were focused on video games or video game adjacent. Like one of the biggest ones was from Samsung. Now this probably wouldn't be for video games as much as like advertisements in buildings, but it would be cool nonetheless to have it in a home. It is glass that has OLEDs just embedded throughout it. It's kind of like weaved into it, the glass. So you can have a screen in a pane of glass.
Weird.
Yeah, you can see it from both sides. You can see through it.
What?
I I know. It was really cool. Um,
Can't picture it. I'd have to
I'll
see
have to send you a link later about it. Um,
it.
oh gosh, I just watched a TikTok. Another thing that was in CES, I couldn't find the thing on my phone. That's all right. Is that the PS5 Slim has a bunch of different colors that those were shown off,
That's
blue,
fine.
silver, and red. I really wish that game consoles would just on initial launch go back to multicolored, transparent 90s stuff.
Yeah, those were the best. The best of times.
I'm actually gonna hop one of the things that's lower because we're talking about Sony. They announced a new DualSense controller that has 12 hours of battery life, which is actually saying a lot because the PS5 controllers last like an hour or two on their charge. So that's good. But we're still so far away from the Wavebird on the GameCube
Oh yeah.
that could last up to 100 hours on a couple of
Mhm.
AA batteries.
Yeah. Literally a couple.
Literally, yes. Uh,
I still use it. My Wavebird is at least, oh man, when did the GameCube even come out? Gotta be over 2 decades old.
the Wavebird itself came out a few years after the GameCube released, so I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it was around 2003 was when the Wavebird came out. Is my guess.
I can do a quick Google. Oh, 2002.
Oh, so close. What month?
Yes. Uh, Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yes. 2002. Um, yeah. No month.
Mm. Oh well, because I remember doing a um, presentation in high school on the Wii and how the sensor bar worked, and how you could use two candles and do it the same thing. That was another thing about the Wavebird. You didn't have to have line of sight.
Mhm.
It was a radio signal
Yeah. 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 So it's 22 years old, and I am still using it when I
because
play my
there has
game.
been nothing better than that Wavebird for wireless controllers.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that are only on one system, or at least not anymore, Hi-Fi Rush, the shadow drop sensation that came to Xbox um, about this time last year, is going to be coming to both the Switch and the PS4, because that came out because it was rated in Australia. So
Hmm.
that'll be fun to play that music beat 'em up game on the other systems if people didn't have an Xbox. If the Game Awards didn't do it for you, if you weren't really a fan of critics giving awards, but would rather have the industry give awards, the 27th annual Dice Awards is going to be coming up soon, and the nominees for Game of the Year just came out today, and the Dice Awards are going to be on February 15th. This is literally the game developers um, praising game developer, like voting for game developers. This is the
Yeah.
industry voting for the industry. So this would be more like the Golden Globes or the Emmys
Right.
than the Game Awards. So it's getting a little showier over time because they have Greg Miller and Stella Chung hosting it, which they used to be just game developers hosting these things, and game developers don't always have the biggest personalities.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing like get Greg Miller. Um, so, but if you want to vote for another game of the year for 2023, um, the options for that are it's the similar things. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3. They have Cocoon in there. Didn't really see much about that game last year.
Mm,
Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom. So
yeah.
those are the nominees for the Dice Awards. In some sad news, um,
Mm,
there's been a lot more layoffs going on for both Twitch and Discord that came out today. Twitch is laying off 35% of their company, 500 employees. Um, and Discord is laying off 17%, which is roughly 170 people. For Twitch's credit, um, the the is it the CEO or the president? Um, I can't. Oh gosh, I just read it too. My brain is not working tonight. Anyway, the head of Twitch did a Q&A concerning it, like a public forum. Basically, he went on live on Twitch to talk about it with people. So that at least is commendable
yeah.
that he's going and talking about it. And I think for what Twitch is what he's doing is that he came into a mess and he's trying to clean it up, and it's not the easiest thing to do
Yeah.
because unfortunately it's still owned by Amazon.
Mm,
And for there have been goods and bads that have come of that.
yeah.
But I've been talking for a long time. Ricky, you have you had a random thing.
Yeah, very random. It's just news about books. The book is not a game related, but does involve Spider-Man or one of the Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield. Um so if you really like the Spider-Man video game, you probably like the movies, which means you might be interested in something else that Andrew Garfield will be involved in, as well as Tom Hardy, who's
Oh,
the what's his name, the the black monster thing he plays as,
Venom?
Venom, yeah. Um, so yeah, Andrew Garfield, he's going to be voicing protagonist of George Orwell's 1984, Winston Smith,
Ooh.
in an Audible adaptation. And he, like I mentioned Tom Hardy, so Tom Hardy will also be involved. He'll be voicing other, um, and that's supposed to be released April 4th of this year. So
Cool.
I really enjoyed 1984. So if you're like me and you like gaming and reading, there's sort of
Yeah.
connection there with Andrew Garfield and Hardy.
And it'll help the
Um,
long car rides.
yes, for sure. So I'm not I don't partake in Audible. I prefer to actually read a
Physically
book,
read.
not have someone read to me. And I don't really have a lifestyle where I don't have the time to sit down and read a book. I do have that
Sure.
time. Even when I am doing full time ministry, I do have the time. So, but and then I know there are a lot of people out there who like taking advantage of Audible. So
Well, like I have some friends who That was the only way they got through the Wheel of Time series, was doing
Mm,
an Audible type book,
yeah.
having somebody read it to them, because it is a slog to get through. It's better to read it after your first time, so like the second and third time, because everything makes sense. You know where he's going with it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
audiobooks have some fun places with going on.
Yeah.
I enjoy it at times.
Yeah, if you want Spider-Man to read to you, you can check out 1984. Or if you really wanted to read the book but haven't been able to actually sit down and read it, then
Awesome.
and the link was saying something like, "Oh, it's not going to be like your typical audiobook. It's going to be an immersive experience." And
It's an audio drama type thing.
yeah, yeah, it's dramatization. Um, which I mean, you got guys like Andrew Garfield and Tom Hardy. Like, of course, it's going to be.
Did you
Uh,
listen to the audio drama for Halo 5 I think it was before Halo 5 came out. They had a little series oh,
that doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I've heard of it.
Halo. It was
Audio drama.
Hunt the Truth. That's what it was called.
Truth?
Because the story for Halo 5 was that Chief had gone rogue, and so they were sending that other team after him.
Mhm.
Um, and so it follows a journalist. It's this journalist basically journaling on a um recording device, and it's think like a
Hmm.
dramatic NPR, and that's what this is,
Hmm.
which is like
I just
it was really fun to listen to it week after week. It was well done.
I just found, something. It said it's got Halo Hunt the Truth season 1 and 2, all episodes, almost 6 hours long, YouTube.
Yes,
Huh.
it is
I
worth
don't
a
know why.
listen to.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't know about that.
I
Interesting.
I, I would listen to it as I did maintenance and painting around seminary because that's when it came out.
Hmm.
A couple of Nintendo news, unless you have any more book things.
Um, well, I'm almost done reading speaking of Halo, the Kilo 5 trilogy. So that's written by Karen Travis. It's
Uh-huh.
Glasslands, Thursday War, and Mortal Dictata. I have like less than 100 pages to go.
Okay.
Um, so I'm almost done with it. The series, I've always heard like from people in the Halo community that the Kilo 5 trilogy is like the best books out of all of like 34 of them.
Sure.
And I can see why. It's very good. It's like it's if you've read any of the other Halo books, it's not your typical Halo book,
I
where
think I
like
have one Halo book and I haven't read it yet.
oh, okay. Yeah, it's like it's because usually like the other Halo books, the way that they deal with whatever the problem is very direct. And in this trilogy, but all the characters are part of Oni, which means they're very sneaky.
Ah,
It's all, clandestine black ops.
okay.
And so it's very, say, slow paced. It's clandestine. It's not, it's very like morally gray
Oh,
as opposed to, because, the Halo universe, it
yes.
has always, morally has always been black and white, you know,
Hmm.
But then, like in the Kilo 5, it starts to get very morally gray. Um,
Ooh.
and it kind of has you battling with your own moral standards, like where would I draw the line, kind of thing.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
yeah,
hard.
so it's very different in that way, Halo universe.
Sure.
Uh, and the interactions between all the characters are just really, really good. They're great. It's
Awesome.
yeah, I can see why people are saying these 3 books are, like, the best out of all of them. And I still haven't read all of them, I'm still working on it. Um, I got
It-
my list here. I don't own all of them yet, but
Going for it.
it is a work in progress. Here it is. So this is after Mortal Dictata, so I still after Mortal Dictata, the Kilo 5 trilogy, that'll probably put me either halfway or a little over halfway done with all the, the Halo
Wow.
books.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and at that point, so let's see, let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so after I finish this trilogy, I'll have read 10 of the 34 books.
Nice.
So that's yeah, 53%.
You know what? Speaking of Halo, since we're on Halo, I'll come back to circle back to the Nintendo stuff. The season 2 trailer for the Halo show came out today.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, and I don't give a crap.
I
You know how I
I
feel.
was excited when I first heard, like, this was before anything else came out about it except they're making a Halo show. I was
Mhm.
excited. I was like, yes, they're going to have a Halo show. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah,
And then the news bit came out that they'd said in an interview, yeah, we haven't played any of the games or read any of the
yeah,
material. We just started making a story with the characters given and a little bit of um their backstory. And it's just like, well, I'm not watching this.
yeah,
And Master Chief has his helmet off more times than he has it on because apparently for Hollywood you can't have an emotional character that is masked
yeah,
in some way, shape, or form.
yeah.
So I'm less than thrilled or caring about the Halo. Like, it has elites, like, it probably very action packed as a show that is just like a
Space drama, I think
space
would be better.
drama story, yeah, type thing. I'm sure it's great, like, or at least average for what you get for that genre of show. Awesome, great, that's fantastic. Can we please have a Halo show that is actually Halo and Master Chief?
Yeah,
Like, can we
yeah,
have the before Reach? Like, can
mhm,
we have him growing up, like his story
right.
before the Pillar of Autumn?
Yeah,
I mean, we got some of that in the animated little shots. Like,
Halo Legends.
yes,
Mhm.
but
We got part of a Halo show through the Halo Waypoint thing,
yes,
like with Infinity,
yes.
whatever it's called, which was awesome. And it's even referenced in a book, like it's a very small reference.
I mean, it's that stuff is canon. Like, let's expand a universe. Let's go through these things. Let's have that story be told on different media
Yeah,
because that only helps video games to be put in another media form, book, movie, show, whatever. it can't hurt it unless you never like pay attention to any of that other stuff. And like, what the heck is happening?
They they definitely pissed off a lot of Halo fans, me included. Even though we knew that they were going into it without it being canonical. And the people who like the show, like the best argument that I receive from them is that it'll introduce more people into Halo who didn't play the games. It's like, well, that still doesn't really get them into Halo because like you said, it's not Halo.
It's something different.
Gotta get them into the game. They're going to get a completely different Master Chief and a completely different universe. And what I said, what I said on a previous episode that we did, it to put it another way, what they did with the Master Chief is the worst character assassination in all literary history. The worst.
Yeah.
It is he's not the Master Chief. He's somebody else who put on his suit and his call sign Sierra 117.
Yeah.
It's somebody else. It's not John.
No. John Spartan 117.
Yeah. It's some other douchebag. But I'll stop there.
Yeah. Let's go to some happier.
Mm.
Nintendo for the holiday sales in Japan, at least from Famitsu. I think that's just the physical numbers came out, and Nintendo is still dominating in Japan. I mean, they will always dominate in Japan.
Yeah.
The Switch sold almost 169,000 units still.
Oh.
They're
Global or Japan?
in Japan.
Okay, wow.
This is just Japan. Japan got almost 82,000 PS5s and Xbox. 1,159 sales of Xbox Series consoles in Japan. Xbox cannot break into Japan. It's just they can't. They try so hard. They probably spend more than they earn.
Yeah.
In Japan. But for game sales, Mario Wonder, 222,000. I don't know what this Momotaro game is. Let's look that up quick. Momotaro Dentetsu World. Should have done this beforehand. It's okay. It looks like a little kid game. Maybe. I could be really wrong. There's a lot of little kid looking things in Japan that are not. Case in point, Made in Abyss. If you've ever heard of that show or that anime, it looks like it's designed for kids. No. But okay, so back to the thing at hand. Momotaro was really close to Wonder, but then the sales of just individual games drops considerably from 190,000 to 78,000, which was Pikmin 4. So then Dragon Quest Dark Prince, 77,000, and then Spider-Man 2 at 53,000. So that again shows you that Japan is Nintendo's backyard, and they are just inviting their friends over to play.
Yeah.
They are. Mario Wonder has passed 1.5 million physical units sold.
Wow. It's a lot for physical.
Physical units, yes.
See? Physical media still matters.
And they are just a bit less than 1.5 million units away from being the best-selling system in Japan ever. which is probably either the Game Boy or the PS2.
Hmm.
The PS2 sales will probably never be beaten because it was also at the beginning of DVDs.
Yeah.
But it's getting so close. It's right around the way to pass the DS. It's like it's almost there. But of course, these are all just Japan numbers. These aren't worldwide numbers. So,
Yeah.
and then a rumor, well, not a rumor, a press release that came out today that was, I think, later found to be not accurate or just a shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
A company called AI Shark, which was formerly Game Shark, the thing that you could plug your game into with put cheat codes in and
Yep.
get all the things. Did a press release saying that they were going to be bringing back the Game Shark brand in December, as a tool to help, I think, disabled gamers or gamers that needed assistance a bit more.
Okay.
But they were going to release it in September to coincide with the release of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they said later that it was they were just taking a shot in the dark because they wanted to have press.
Yeah. Well, I
As
mean, with our previous episode, kind of like what we were saying, we could see it
it
as
could be there.
a 2024 release, especially
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Absolutely. It could be September, October, probably
Yeah.
probably November, honestly. I know some other um podcasts that I listen to threw out a suggestion that we will hear about the next system right after or right around the time that the yearly sales numbers come in for like Nintendo, that like they have their meeting with um, stockholders, which is late February, early March. So to garner okay from the stockholders, hey, here's this brand new thing that's coming out. And so they'll just do an official announcement then, and then have a holiday release. It's possible.
Yeah.
And just a few more things. Some of these just again came out today. There was a lot of news that came out today. I would say a third or a half of the things that were written here came out today. Demos for games are starting to be a thing more again, which is nice. Some new demos for a couple of the games that we talked about last week. Prince of Persia and Grand Blue Fantasy are both and are getting demos either now or very like by the end of the week, which is tomorrow at the recording. So that's really cool. For those that care, WoW Dragonflight patch 10.2.5 is coming out next Tuesday. It has new story, gameplay, mechanics. Like they're bringing dragon flying to everywhere. So fun times there. I still need to not go and start up again because it will consume my life.
I know how that is.
And then you had something for January 18th ESO. What's going on with ESO?
Next Thursday, January 18th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, is the ESO Global reveal of what next year's story will be.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what it is. That's usually what it always is around this time of the year, beginning of the year. Because the way they usually know what the next, I believe they call it a chapter, what the next chapter is going to be,
Okay.
which tends to start in June,
Okay.
June, July. They're the it's released, whatever the next one is, let's call it expansion. Releases on PC first, and then it comes to the consoles like maybe 2 weeks later. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, so next Thursday, January 18th, the next if you like Elder Scrolls Online, the next global reveal is then, and you can watch it at Twitch, twitch.tv/Bethesda.
So
I'll definitely. Hmm?
I've got a question about that then. Do you think ESO 6 will have story elements, not ESO, Elder Scrolls 6 will have story elements introduced in ESO?
It's really hard to say because ESO, everything takes place like are maybe like several thousands of years before Skyrim,
Okay.
maybe even before Oblivion.
But do you think like they would introduce the land or the overworld for Elder Scrolls 6 on ESO?
Um,
Or do you think they'll
Hard
just
to
it'll
say.
stand on its own and on its own merits because
Yeah,
it's the next
it,
Elder Scrolls game? I think it's
yeah,
6.
either it'll stand on its own or it'll be an area that we're already familiar with, either because of ESO or because of the lore.
Okay.
Um, I Yeah, if I can't see them connecting it to Elder Scrolls 6. Um,
It's 6, right?
yes.
Okay.
And I only say that because they haven't really done that with the other games.
Sure,
I
but
mean,
ESO hasn't wasn't out
yeah,
before the was the last one Skyrim?
yeah, yeah, before ESO at least. And like, cause like, I know it's really hard to say. 'Cause if it's like a new area we never heard of,
Mhm.
maybe
Like how much of
because
the
there are
world map
still
is shown in ESO, Elder Scrolls Online for those who are
you see the whole world map, but there are some areas that that are just blank. You can't
it's
even go
blank.
to. Like if
Okay.
you look at the map and you hover over it, it won't say anything.
Yeah.
But throughout time, those have been filled in because of
Yes.
released expansions.
WoW has
And
done that with their expansions. Yeah.
yeah, and at the same time, there's like you can kind of expand out of the Tamriel map,
Oh.
and there's like other locations you can go
Because wasn't
to
Morrowind partially take place in a different world plane of existence thing?
for in ESO.
In Morrowind specifically.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't play Morrowind.
I can't remember.
Um, but so when you expand out of the Tamriel
Mm-hmm.
map, there are other maps you can click on for Clockwork City or Cold Harbor, a couple other areas.
Yeah.
Um, well, yeah, it's strange. So anyway, yeah, I don't think, mm, yeah, I don't think that they'll connect anything
Okay.
this year at least to ESO 6.
Okay.
If they do, it'll be a complete surprise.
I mean that would be really
I
cool.
don't know.
Like
The
Bethesda's
only
doing what
connection to
Bethesda wants to do.
Yeah, the only connection to previous games have been like their Morrowind DLC several
Yes.
years ago where you go to Vardenfell. Um and
That's
for
one.
the just for the basic game when you go to the land of Skyrim, but it's not called Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the Ebonheart Pact.
Gotcha.
Uh, but you're in Skyrim,
Okay.
and there are even some locations you visit that are the same, like Windhelm, I think, but it looks completely different because it's such a long time ago in ESO.
Sure.
Um, yeah, who knows?
Sounds fun.
I don't know.
It's all
Yeah, I'll
interconnected in
honestly,
some way, shape, or form.
yeah, it will be, and a lot of people don't like ESO because it's done a lot of retconning. Um, but for me,
What
I don't
franchise
care.
hasn't?
Yeah, but and for me, I don't care because it's the only game that's gotten me into Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Even though I still don't know a whole lot about the lore, but I know enough.
Awesome. And
So
then the last
yeah,
bit
I'll
of
be, yeah, all right.
all right, yeah, no worries, no worries. And the last bit of information that came up literally an hour before the podcast started recording. The Switch Online expansion pass, which includes Game Boy Advance games, Golden Sun and Golden Sun Lost Age, are coming to Switch Online January 17th. These
Nice.
adventures are epic. I've, I've got my copy of Golden Sun
Yeah,
right
I
there.
started playing that a long time ago, but I got stuck at some part
Yeah,
and just stopped.
there are some parts that you can definitely get stuck in, so um it'll be better with the save states, I think, that you can have on the online stuff. So
Yeah.
I think this is an exciting. It is all one story. It was like you finish Golden Sun. It's like, wait a minute, we've only done like, I don't want to spoil things because people who have never played it might be. Let's just say that the first game ends where you don't think it should,
Hmm,
but Lost Ages um completes that story.
gotcha.
So um it's a it's interesting how that all came about, but no, definitely that is so fantastic that these games
Hmm.
are finally coming back for a new generation. I wish I had played the DS one so that I could um Dawn of Souls, I think is its name. Maybe not, I can't remember. But I heard it wasn't as good. So it's just sitting in my Amazon wish list for probably ever and all eternity. How much is it right now? I think it's in this list. Dark Dawn, that's what it is. Oh, only $58, 58.50. It's come down in price.
What's that little Game Boy thing you have called again?
That is called the oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name? The box is somewhere around here. Um, Pocket. Its name is Pocket, and it's from Analog Pocket.
Log Pocket. Okay.
Analog Pocket.
You
Gosh.
can play like any Game Boy Advance game on it.
Uh,
Or
Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, any of those. Um,
yeah.
Plus a few other ones, other styles of games if you get the attachment. But these things are never in stock. You have to watch
Yeah.
their Twitter to see when new stock will be available. Like their last ones, they had uh the Technicolor uh transparent. They made that type of skin for it, and those went super fast. Like
I bet.
if I had disposable income of $200+ to get it, because that's what it is. It's like 220 to 40 somewhere in there. Um, I would have probably caved
Yeah.
because it's so pretty, so nice, so cool. Um, basically none of their systems that they had uh Super Nintendo things that you could so basically have an HDMI cable for your Super Nintendo cartridges. Um, uh, the Sega Genesis, those ones are all sold out. Um, and then the Pocket are all. Oh no, the Pocket is available right now.
Yeah, I was seeing that because seeing add to cart and then all the way at the bottom with all those, it says sold out.
No, no, no. I don't need
It's
one of those.
February 4.
So if you get them, encouragement of things to buy with it. Um, I I like having the dock. It is just a USB-C dock, very similar to the Switch, but that lets you play your Game Boy games on a TV or a monitor,
Mm.
um, if you have a capture card. I didn't get the hard case because it was $30, and I didn't want to. Like, I will take care of my system, and then the screen protector I also didn't. But if you want to have the connector cables, unfortunately, the link cable, if you don't have yours anymore, the main link cable is sold out. But if you wanted to play TurboGrafx, um, Neo Geo, and Atari Lynx cartridges, if you have those type of games, there are separate adapters, and you can also get a separate adapter for Game Gear. So we're sponsoring other people who are not sponsoring us. No, it's a fantastic little system. I wish I played it more. Um,
Yeah.
it has a bunch of other features in the system too that I have barely touched. All right, I think that Brian gets our news finally pulled together. We're still doing better than last week. We're only at like an hour 10 from actual start of
Yeah.
podcast. So we're doing good. All right, our round table. I know Luke's answer for this first one, but Ricky, you were the one who's had this one, wrote this one up. What were you thinking for the this linear games versus open world games?
Yeah, it's I don't remember what you said. Well, I kind of do. Our very first episode, you said you're kind of going back to linear gaming,
Yes.
and that had me thinking just talking about just anything about them. Not really what you prefer, maybe a little
Okay.
bit of that, but um,
Like the pros and cons of both of them.
yeah, because I was um because recently, there are a lot of open world games out there,
Oh yeah.
and they can be kind of overwhelming at times.
Hmm?
And that's all I've been, mostly what I've been playing for many years now.
Yes.
And then when I went back to finish the first Alan Wake game,
Hmm.
which is very linear, I was having so much fun with it.
Yep.
Um, and I didn't quite know why until I was really thinking about it more.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, I think it's because it's like I don't have to wonder about what I need to do next or worry so much about strategizing what I do next. You just
Or getting
go and do the
distracted.
yeah, or getting distracted. Um, so and then I started playing Control, which is in the same universe as Alan Wake.
Hmm.
Also more linear. There's some exploring you can do, but it's not open world. I mean, you're trapped in a building for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, I guess what's I mean,
So this
what's
this
everyone's
entire
thoughts
thing
on here?
really for me came about when I started playing Spider-Man 2018. I really wanted to like the game. And the main game of it is great. The story, it's right there. But swinging through New York, I kept going from just one distraction to the other to the other to the other that I lost the story. This is the same problem I have with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Um and why I say that they are fantastic games, but they aren't necessarily Zelda games because of that extreme amount of freedom. When you can go anywhere or do anything, the game design is not on crafting a well organized, well contained story. It
Yeah.
is, we need to make as many experiences in this world to fill up this world as we possibly can. Now, for some games, that can work, and for it is kind of what drives MMOs.
Mm.
It is what um so many people just enjoy, like the freedom. Minecraft. So many people like just the ability to go and do anything anywhere in this big open world because you could build or do anything in this big one. And that was I think Minecraft was one of the first extremely open world games that really went off, and then people slowly started um and companies slowly started gravitating towards it, like, yeah, I like these open world games because I get to decide what I want to do. And it's like, I don't care what I want to do, because this is a game and a story written and made by someone else. They are trying to convey a story, they are trying to do a thing. And just to go through the main story of, say, Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild is probably Breath of the Wild more than Tears of the Kingdom. Very disjointed. The story is not designed anywhere because you can start at any of the four locations.
Yeah.
Not one thing is first. Um, I feel like my open world enjoyment stops at like one of the original Zeldas, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, even a little bit Wind Waker, where, okay, there is some open world, but there is a direct story that you follow, and the collectibles, the hidden things, are along your path until, unless you need to get an item later and come back, but you can see those things
Yeah.
because it is designed in a way that you will notice something is wrong, but you cannot do anything about it now.
Yeah.
And I think linear provides itself for better dungeon creation, um,
Hmm.
better just gameplay specifically for casual.
Yeah.
Open world is designed for people who have time. Open world is almost a response to the content creators because they have hours daily that they are trying to make content on video games. And if you cannot fill that, they're going to go on to something else and you're not going to get that free advertising. So both games have their place. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am just finding as the older I get, the way my brain works, I I can't handle it is that overload of open
Mhm.
worlds. There's too much.
Yeah.
I don't need a living world. I live in one.
Yep.
Video games are an escape for me.
Yeah.
Video games are like reading books. I don't want to have a realist. That's why I prefer fantasy and sci-fi because they're not real.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's why I like Halo more than COD
Mhm.
because I don't want to go through World War II again for the fourth
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I want to see some random space war with aliens
Right.
that I have no connection to. And I
Yeah.
know that that is a I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or if it's just a not spoken opinion because so many people have just stated, I love realism. I love like just all of the things that I can work at. I can uh, grasp and understand in context of the world that we live in. The realistic graphics. Great, I get to see somebody sweating. The stamina bar. Oh yes,
Right.
somebody gets tired. It's a video game. I don't need a stamina bar.
Yeah.
I want to be able to run from one side of the map to the other in one go without having to walk any bits because it's a video game. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so I think just because of that point that open worlds like there is a vocal portion of the video game community that states that they like this more than the linear. That if you like linear, you're
In the dark
not
ages or
not a
too
gamer.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's bad game design. It's like, no, it actually takes more design in a way because you're having to take a person along this path. And if they get bored on that path, that's on you. In an
Right.
open world, you just throw things here and there. They can be the same kind of things over and over and over again, like in Spider-Man. Oh, there's somebody else who is getting robbed. I gotta go beat up everybody that's there. It
Yeah. Whereas you don't necessarily need to do that
no.
to complete the game or whatever.
Well, but in a
It's
linear game, when that happens, it's part of the story, and it actually matters with what's going on in the grand scheme of things
yeah.
because that will affect the story.
Kind of like maybe like in Far Cry, if you rescue NPC rebel who's in trouble and it benefits your reputation. Like there's actually a reputation bar.
Yes.
And the higher your reputation, the more benefits there are with
Yeah.
the rebel forces or whatever. Instead of like I don't know, what was the game? That's it.
I mean, like even like WoW has reputations that you just it's a weekly grind of okay, I need to do this quest again so that I get more reputation. And it's just a quest that is
I
out in the
don't.
world to make the world feel alive. But there is
Yeah.
no progression in this daily or weekly. It just is a thing that happens over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I know what game I'm thinking of now. Like as opposed to LA Noir, kind of similar with the Spider-Man thing. Like somebody's a crime is being committed and you stop it, and there's no benefit.
Absolutely.
It you just yeah, it's just a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
You might feel better morally, but it didn't add anything to the game. Or
Except I got a, a currency that will help me unlock either an ability or a costume.
yeah.
Make
Uh,
I say this and then I walk it back to playing A Link to the Past randomizer. And I'm like, I love this game. I love playing this game this way. It has made A Link to the Past an open world game, but it is based on a linear game that has a set layout that I have this item, I can go to this place.
yep.
And so you have a path. You just have to think of it. You have to know what opens up with what item you have.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, um, I don't know if I can say one is better than the other, but like what you guys said, each has their place. But if it's done right.
Yes.
And I think part of it too is we define open world. Like
Hmm.
like the open world of Mass Effect is a lot different than the open world of Skyrim or ESO.
Yeah.
Um, no, Mass Effect. I don't know. Maybe that is open world. I don't know if I would. Maybe one is more Mass Effect. One is more open world than the other two. You can actually explore planets. Um,
I'm stumbling on something that could go to that point. It's an open world game that unlocks more areas as you progress the story.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. So yeah, Mass Effect would fall under that.
Yeah.
Skyrim, ESO, a whole bunch of others, Starfield, right? So, and of course, some games are larger than others.
Hmm.
Like Starfield, for example, is humongous. Um, yeah, for me, yeah. So each has their place, and I think each have to be designed right. So, like, so for me, Mass Effect versus Starfield. Mass Effect, I love Mass Effect. It's great. Great. The way it's just designed, it just the open worldness of it just works.
Yeah.
But Starfield, it's so large there, and to me, so intimidating. All the
Hmm.
other problems of how grainy the graphics are and all the other stupid bugs, but
Yeah.
it's just too large for me. Um, and I've been, playing so many other open world type games like Destiny, like ESO, Borderlands. You could even say is open world under
Yeah.
that definition you gave,
Yeah.
but to a much lesser extent.
Uh-huh.
It's still a bit linear, but I mean, it's again, it works. Um,
I think even like Ocarina of Time, like all the Zeldas are open world in that it's like there are large areas in between the story bits
mhm.
that you can explore through.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, but like yeah, like you said, for right, it's kind of hard for me to say what I prefer, but I think I'm leaning more towards linear, just because I mean we're both in our 30s.
Hmm.
families now, jobs, trying to retain or get a job. um, just we don't have the time anymore to commit to large open world games, and both of us grew up with linear games. That might be part of it, um, but also just to add to what you were saying, uh, narratively, the games that we're playing somebody else's story.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to make up my own story. Um, I'm a writer. I can do that anytime I want.
I'll go play a
uh,
D&D campaign.
right. I want to experience somebody else's story. What story are you trying to tell? And how can you bring me along that story with you?
Mm.
So, like Alan Wake, for example, the first one. I haven't played the second one yet. Um, very, it's very linear. It's not really open world at all. Um, and but it's not so linear that you're just like stuck all the time. There's like no minor exploring you can do. There is some minor exploring, like collectibles and stuff, which I
Yeah.
like to do because I do like exploring a game.
Mhm.
My brother and I really like doing that. Um, so Alan Wake does that really well. It's linear. The story, the developers take you along the story that they want to tell.
Yeah.
Um, and you experience it very vividly.
Mm.
Uh, I dig that. um, Especially as someone who just really likes literature. Um,
Sure.
Experiencing somebody else's story, whether that's reading it in a book or in a video game, telling me the story you want to tell and taking me along the ride. Open world games, a lot of them for me tend to be too busy.
Mm.
Um, there's too much to do. Um, or So one of the problems I have with ESO is that the world is so huge that you can't really make sense of the story. What story is being told?
Yeah.
There's multiple stories with each chapter,
Mhm.
like the main, very, very, very basic story, and then Morrowind DLC, the Greymoor, Clockwork City, whatever, this and that. They all have their own individual story, but how do all these connect to the meta narrative of ESO, Elder Scrolls?
Mhm.
For me, I can't tell what that is. That's probably the only problem I have with ESO, but I still really like to play the game.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a lot of open worlds I just find to be it's too much busy work.
Mm.
Um, and rather than just go into, I don't know how to say it, I don't know, checkpoint after checkpoint, some exploration here and there, experiencing the story, getting to explore the world a little bit.
So I want to
Uh,
throw out a linear game that I haven't played it myself, but I've heard enough about it that it this would be more of a negative, I think. The Last of Us. It
okay.
is literally just a movie story, then a little bit of walking and just like less gameplay per se. Like when they're walking simulators in between movies. That is a poor linear game where you're doing bad gameplay, bad fighting, just like you're in between of like you focus so much on the story that you didn't do anything with the gameplay.
Yeah.
But like say Super Metroid or Symphony of the Night, you could almost say that they are the definition of linear because you are on paths that go side to side that you cannot go out of. But you can still explore. You find hidden things.
Yeah.
There is options.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that with Super Mario and
Yep.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I mean, even when the first time Sonic became open world with Sonic Adventure,
Mm-hmm.
that was awesome. Um, everything they
Yes.
did just worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you were kind of going down pathways. So in a
Yeah.
sense it was linear, but I don't know. It's still, I think that the debate, especially like when you hear people like creator of Tears of the Kingdom say that people don't really want the old way of the games anymore. Like linear is bad, open world is good.
Yeah.
That's that's not okay in my book.
Yeah.
Because we just had a half an hour conversation on why there's more to this topic than otherwise noted.
I think they both can be done right and they both can be done wrong.
Yes.
In our current age, I would just like to see more linear
Mhm.
games.
And I think some of I think some of that is coming back.
Yeah. Especially with the third party developers.
Mhm. I would say even like Baldur's Gate, like game of the year for so many is more of a linear game.
Yeah.
Yes, you can kind of go down different paths, but it's still following the story.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
generally how D&D works, isn't it?
Yeah. You still go where the DM wants you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I just one last thing for me
Yeah.
is like I said, I really like literature. And so I really love
Hmm.
being able to experience the narrative or the story, whether that's a movie, a book, or a video game.
Yes.
I don't really get much of that with an open world game,
Yeah.
which is why I would like more linear. That focuses, so just give me a good story, give me good gameplay. And
Just do everything to the best of your.
yeah, and take me through the journey. That's all I want.
No small order.
Right.
As somebody who's looked into like working on game design, that is
Mhm.
so much easier said than done.
I know there's a lot of things that anything I can say that I just don't know from a developer's perspective.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt, I guess, if you're a developer.
Yeah. All right. I think this other topic we can do super quick because it goes with the theme. If you speed ran a game, what one would you learn?
Oh, I thought so when I saw the question, I thought it was, how like what would you do? How would I speed run a game?
No, no, no,
Which I
no.
have no
Like
idea.
no.
Which game would be
Which one would you like to play or like learn how to speed run?
Halo.
Halo.
Yeah.
When you watch the different things for AGDQ or even look them up on YouTube, that one is actually not as easy as you'd think it would be
Yeah.
because it's a lot of grenade jumping, rocket jumping,
Yeah.
clipping out of bounds, going so far of places you're not supposed to go in the linear.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great one. Halo, all
Either that or Pokemon. Mm,
or what?
Pokemon Red. That or Pokemon Red.
The Pokemon games are fun too. you can beat red and I think it's blue. I think that they have to use it on in less than a minute if you do some glitches right. Where it's under 5 minutes, I think, is what it is. Where you encounter a specific Pokemon, save and quit your game, and you do some specific button pressings, and you will just end up at the end of the Elite Four after the champion in the champions room to put your Pokemon on the computer console. It's
crazy.
fantastic. Yeah, I think humans can actually do it too. It was a taskbot thing for a while, but I think people actually figured out how to do it themselves.
Yeah. Crazy.
I would probably do. I would love to learn more about A Link to the Past, like to get the glitches, to get that all worked out. There are just some moves that I don't know how to do, but I haven't looked them up, like hammer dashing, where you dash and you have the hammer above you, and so it's acting like the hammer is being used, so it will pound through all of the things that pound down as you go forward. Or I would probably one that would be a little more up my alley would be RPGs, probably like Earthbound. If it wasn't so long, I could do Earthbound, but it's still pretty lengthy. So
speedrun.
Yep. We did good until our conversation.
It's a large topic.
It was a large topic, yep. But we're still doing better than last week. So, with that being said, let's sign on off. Gaming Public Radio is made possible currently due to our love of gaming, as you can see from this episode, and her desire to just do more for the community, talk and be involved in the community. If you'd like to support us, please hit the subscribe button. And to see all the new things that are coming out, I've got minus Google Podcast. I couldn't get my okays to change from an old podcast that I did. But everything else should be working. You can find Ricky at Righteous Lutheran on Twitter with a W and no A at the end, and Righteous Lutheran on Instagram with a W and an A at the end. You can find me, Hallowed Foxmoon, and any platform, Twitch, Twitter, anywhere you can find it. But thank you so much for watching. You can find more content for excellence in gaming right here on Gaming Public Radio. Thanks again. Bye.